Hey guys, my name is Rudy Campanella. I'm going to talk to you today about career exploration in regards to architecture. I've got a series of questions here that I'm going to go through, and hopefully, after these questions, you'll have a better insight into what I do. What is your job? Um, I am a senior job captain at an architecture firm in Oakland, California. We deal primarily with residential work, things like single family homes and multifamily homes. Some of my major goals and responsibilities include putting together construction documents for a client and making sure that my team gets everything that they need to in the construction documents um, that the client wants, and also meets any local construction building codes. Um, what particular industry my job a part of? It's part of the construction industry. Um, and without architects, you can't have a set of construction documents. Usually, builders use those construction documents to build buildings. The way I like to see it is essentially construction documents are similar to instructions. Instructions like Lego instructions. Um, we have, everyone has a set of Legos, right? And usually a set of Legos comes with instructions, page by page, pictures of how to put a building together. And construction documents are pretty similar to that process, um, without all the pretty pictures and a lot more words. Um, but ultimately, a person will use a set of construction documents to build a building, how it's supposed to be built, and also to make sure that everything works right. And again, all the codes, all the local building codes are met. What do you love about your job? The best thing I love about my job is being able to collaborate with a group of people. Um, it's easier to try and hash out a problem when a bunch of people are trying to brainstorm and solve that one issue. It's just a great feeling to have that energy when you're working with people. What is tough about my job? I'd have to say deadlines. Deadlines can get pretty rough. Um, just considering the amount of time that sometimes it takes to make a construction document set, um, and trying to do it in an efficient manner and also in a timely manner. Um, so deadlines come quick, a lot faster than sometimes we expect. But usually, if you have a great team with you, um, you get it done, and you get it done efficiently, and you get it done pretty well. All right, next question. What was your path to getting your job? What were your passions when you were young, and did they translate into a past or current job in any surprising way? Well, when I was young, I used to like drawing a lot. I used to draw in perspectives and used to draw like buildings, the geometric shapes a lot. And then my dad kind of came along and you know, implemented the idea like maybe I could be an architect when I grow up. I mean, it was kind of a welcoming idea just because growing up Filipino American, uh, he wasn't pushing me to be a doctor or a nurse, you know. So I kind of had the idea young, um, that architecture would probably be something that I would pursue. So, you know, after I went through high school, I graduated, and I did not get into Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Um, I mean, that school's known a lot for producing a lot of great architects and has a well-rounded program. So unfortunately, I didn't get in. So so my first year of college, I went to University of California, Santa Cruz, um, to try and study computer science. I learned pretty quickly that that was not for me. Um, so I knew I needed to get back. I needed to do what I wanted to do. So I transferred into a junior college. So then after taking a few classes at the junior college relating to architecture, I just knew that I needed to get back into it. So I was able to transfer eventually to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Um, so I was able to finally get into the college that I wanted to. Um, and I graduated from there with a bachelor's in architecture. Um, I think that time kind of made me realize, like, this is what I really wanted to do. Um, I had a lot of fun in college. I had a lot of fun, working in our studios and being creative. So I'm glad I, stuck with it and went back what I wanted. And then after graduating, I got a job in LA in architecture. Really got my feet wet as far as like how architecture is as a business and how it worked, and um, I was able to learn a lot in those few years that I was there in LA. And then opportunity presented itself to be able to move back here to the Bay Area um, to work at a company that wasn't really architecture per se, but it was still in the construction industry. Um, I did that for a few years, and again, it's just uh, wasn't really what I wanted. It wasn't. Um, I wasn't able to be creative. I wasn't able to uh, to use any of the skills that I had learned in college and in my previous years in working in LA. So it led me to back to architecture again. I worked with a firm where we did a lot of commercial work, and then I actually ended at KTGY, where I work now, which is it's been great. It's been great so far, and uh, I love what I do, and I love the people that I work with. Um, let's see. Next question. What are things that you learned in your K through 12 education that are most useful to you now? I would say reading and writing. There's a lot of communication that goes back and forth between myself, clients, and my teammates. There's a lot of, uh, you know, writing letters, um, proposals, just emails to clients, all those things, like um, basic things like grammar and stuff. Those really stick with you. And another thing would just be math. Um, I would say there's a lot of math that's involved. I wouldn't say there's a really high level of math that needs to be learned, but definitely geometry is one to concentrate on. Um, and yeah, so just a lot of reading and writing and just math. So, um, my next question: if you have higher education, what was your experience like? And what was difficult to get used to? Um, like I said before, I graduated from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and the experience was great. Um, there was studio environments where essentially our classes were, our professor would give us design problems and we'd have to try and solve. Um, it was great because being able to use your creativity to create or make these you know buildings from your mind, and it was fulfilling for me. And but I will say what was the most difficult to get used to in college was um, the fact that you're on your own. um, you're using, or there's counselors in there that can help you you know get the classes that you need to. But it's really on you. It's really on you being, there's no one over you trying to say like you better get up and go to class. Like, no, you got to go yourself. You got to do it yourself. So that took a little bit of used to, or of me getting used to. But I learned quick, and um, I was able to, adapt, and you know, and just realizing that's, it's the freedom that you have when you go to college. Um, Next part of the question is, how did you afford school? Um, I did. It was a little difficult having money for college. So I applied for scholarships a lot whenever I found that any were available. And a majority of my college tuition was paid through loans. So I took out some few loans for college. So, but after graduating college, be able to get a job. Fortunately, I was able to pay off my loans in a relatively timely manner. So I would say, if you're looking at college and money might be an issue, there's definitely a ton of resources out there that you can go to. I mean, I'm sure there's more now, even from when I was going to college. So just feel free to reach out to anyone. Parents, friends, teachers, counselors. There's or just do the research on your own. There's a lot of things out there that you can probably apply for or that can help you get through college financially. Next question: any tips for being a good coworker? Uh, I would say just being able to listen. Um, just if someone has an idea, like be open to their idea. Don't just try to shut it down immediately because it's not your idea, but just being able to listen and collaborate. You know, um, that's the biggest point of being a good coworker. Um, and my favorite part of being on a team is again just the collaboration that you can have with other people. Just brainstorming. It's kind of exhilarating, like getting a group of people together to solve a problem, and it's fun. I think the last question is, how do you make goals for yourself? I usually like to make um, a number of small goals. For me, that works just because I'd like to be able to achieve something in a relatively quick manner. So, I like to have small goals. Usually, it's a goal that would uh, help improve myself. You know, I'll say, for example, there's some programs that is used in architecture. It's primarily like AutoCAD and Revit. And if you are thinking about going into architecture, those two softwares are probably something that you probably want to concentrate on or at least be familiar with. Um, but yeah, I'm just, if like in something in Revit, I know it, but if there's something better that I can do, it's always a way to just try and improve myself. So setting a small goal, just like learning like a different part of the software, just makes me better at it. So yeah, again, it's just like setting small goals and achieving them, and then moving on to the next one. So I think that's it as far as the questions that I have to go through. I hope it gave you guys a better insight into what I do, and kind of give you an idea of the path that I went through to get here. Um, you know, we'll say this, like, if you guys are, whatever you guys are thinking about doing, just just keep your energy, stay positive. Um, there's a lot of resources out there, um, and you know, just keep going, keep moving, keep striving for better. All right, take care, guys.